Hello and welcome to another episode on the Everyday Joy podcast. I'm your host, Joy Ravella, and I cannot wait to unpack today's verse. Let's get into it.
Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. That's 1 Peter 4, verse 8 from the ESV.
I've got Jackie once again here in studio with me. Jackie, the last time we hung out, we were doing episodes 14 to 18.
Yes,
and I cannot believe we are up to episode 44 today.
That's incredible. It feels like it was only a couple of weeks ago that we did that.
I know, but it's not. It's been a good while, and the last time we spoke, I remember the biggest thing in your world at the time was the fact that you just moved houses, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, just moved house and turned 50.
How's it going? How's the 50 life?
50 life is rocking so far.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Yeah.
What are you most looking forward to in your 50s?
Oof. That's a big question. I reckon it's something along the lines of really not giving a rip anymore about what other people think. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same way. I'm 29 at the point of this recording, and I'm turning 30 very soon, and I'm so pumped for my 30s.
Yeah,
because
30s are good.
Yeah, because I feel like I've got enough of experience under my belt to not waste time chasing after what other people think of me. And I just feel like the older you get, the less you care.
So true. So true.
Well, today we are taking a look at 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. So, Jackie, what would be your first impression of this verse?
I love the thought of it. I love the idea of, just love one another. It's just love one another. But it just gets so much harder the less you actually want to.
Yeah. And that's when it's the most important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
What does this verse tell you about who God is or what matters to him?
I think it tells me that he actually does want us to love like him, and that his love is perfect love. So, it talks about if you want to get a little bit technical, the Greek word used in this verse for love is agape love. So that's the highest form of love. It's, enemy embracing. It actively seeks the well-being of other people, above yourself, and it reflects the very heartbeat of God. That's what it tells me about him, is that he wants us to love like that.
And it's interesting you mention the Greek word for love, because we have one word for love, but I think English is unique in the sense that there is only one word for this. In so many other languages, I know that, with my Indian background, there's so many Indian languages, first of all, but there's so many different ways to express that word love, and it's different for family, it's different for friends, it's different for loving people in the hard times versus the good times. And I really appreciate how the Bible also expresses that, and sometimes we've got to dig deeper and find the original text to understand that. So it's incredible that you're saying that the specific word chosen to describe love, when it says love covers a multitude of sins, it's the kind of love that's described as actively seeking the well-being of people other than yourself.
Yeah.
And embracing your enemies.
Yeah.
Do you have a story of how this verse came to life in your world?
Number of years back now, I was working with a girl who was younger than me. She worked in another department, but we had to cross paths at work a lot. And we had, let's just call it, extraordinarily different working styles, personalities, way of operating in the world. Everything about us was different. She was gorgeous. She loved people. She loved God. We were working in a ministry together, and we were both full on for this. And so we had that in common. But everything else and everything she did was just grated.
She just rubbed you the wrong way.
Just rubbed the wrong way. And I could see that she was, a lovely person, I could see, but didn't communicate the same way. So
that's a huge thing. Yeah.
So I would try and explain something how I like to communicate, and she would look at me going, I have no idea what you're talking about. And so I'd try another way, and she'd say, no, you're not making any sense. And then she would say something, I'd be like, I don't understand you either. So it was just this constant, to the point where it got to a couple of months into working together, I just didn't want to work with her anymore.
Wow.
And, I was like, this is too hard. How can it be this hard? I'm in my 30s I was then, how can it be this hard for me to work with somebody? And like one day sitting in my office and thinking, oh, she's going to come and talk to me. Oh, Lord, what do I do? What do I do? And he was just like, love her like I do.
Wow.
And, and I was just like, oh.
That's when you know God's speaking to you. Right?
Oh, yeah,
that's not my thought.
So not my thinking.
So what happened? What happened when she came over?
It was a constant reminder to myself because we still had the same communication problems. But what changed was my attitude to be able to say, so what I'm hearing you say is, and she would, oh, no, that's almost it. But we just, okay, great. And I don't think she ever had any idea of that's what went on in my head behind the scenes, but it was a much better working relationship.
Yeah, and I think, so many times it comes down to communication.
Yeah.
And understanding that person's communication styles. I remember when Ari and I did our premarital sort of counselling sessions, and the one thing they just kept talking about over and over was active listening. Mm-hmm. It's making sure that you understand what the person is saying, not assuming to understand. So it's like you were saying, reflecting back. So when someone says, oh, I feel really tired today, because it's just been a rough day at work, I would say to Ari, for example, oh, are you saying that work was really rough today, or are you feeling really tired and exhausted? Like, I'd just find clarifying question, was it the work? Was it how you're feeling about work? Two different things. And that's been a huge lifesaver for us within, our marriage at very early stages, but it's been really good, and I'm really grateful for those lessons in communication. And it seems like love and having that perspective of caring for that person and seeing them the way God sees them is quite key in even asking those active questions. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think not only the active questions, but how we demonstrate that love to others as well. In Romans 5:8, it actually says, God demonstrated his own agape love for us. While we were still sinners, the Messiah died for us. And how better to put it, especially with Easter rolling in later this week as well. What an amazing amount of love is that? He gave his one and only son. He sacrificed his one and only son for us so that we shouldn't be sinners anymore. And how much, we don't have to do that to anybody else. We can just demonstrate that love to others. So, love God, love others. It all comes back to love. It's so important, and it's what he wants us to do.
Today, we are talking about love. Now, sometimes we can think about it in a very rom-com-esque kind of way or pop star hit kind of way, and that's a really, it just doesn't really do justice to the power and the strength that is in the word love. There's a great movie, it's called Brother Bear, one of my all-time favorites, and I love Phil Collins music, so it's a win-win-win for me. But this movie explores the idea of love. And the main character gets this, how do I put it? I don't want to spoil too much of the movie, but the main character gets a word. And this word is meant to define his journey into manhood. And so he's thinking, maybe the word I'll get is bravery, or maybe it'll be strength. And so he had all of these ideas of what it could be. And then as he's about to get that word, he gets love. And he is absolutely frustrated. He's distraught. He cannot believe that of all things, he gets love. However, love is one of the most powerful forces in the world. We are so incredibly switched on, and we respond so much better when love enters the conversation, love enters the thought process, or love enters the covering of a multitude of sins. And that's what this verse is all about. Now, love isn't all about slapping on a smile or pretending things are okay when they're not. Love is speaking the truth at the right time in the right way. Love is choosing to forgive because God forgave us. Love is sacrifice. Love is choosing to wait a few days before you bring up that conversation because this person is going through a difficult time right now. Love is writing that email but not sending it. Love is having that conversation and making sure you understand that person. And those are just a few ideas of how you can apply this verse today. If you have a difficult relationship with someone, whether it's at work or at home, and if this is a relationship that you are called to or you need to grow in some way, allow love to make its way in your heart. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Well, that wraps up today's episode on the Everyday Joy podcast. Make sure you do like and subscribe. Leave a 5-star review as well, because those are super helpful. And I'll catch up tomorrow.